What is up, Gear Squad? Chaingear here, bringing you another video, another one. Oh, another one.
Already saw the memes. Already.
May the memes begin. Welcome. If you guys are here watching live on the stream, I appreciate you guys being here. This is a big deal for myself, a big deal for Vampire Peaches. Obviously, we're not here by ourselves, which you guys will learn about in a couple seconds. But I wanted to take some time to mention a couple things. Number one, thank you, everybody, because we've hit 800 subscribers. Hey! That's a big deal. I had mentioned a long time ago, back when I was working in Chicago, I was in a hotel, and I sat there and I said, you know what, guys, we're growing pretty fast here. I think we can start growing even faster. My dream would be to get 1,000 subs by Christmas. I think we're getting there. I think we're at the point. It's October. We have all of October, November, December. I think we got 3 months to go ahead and get another 200 subs, and I think it's doable. And I really, really appreciate it because every single time, another 100 gets on board, I keep meeting people that really, really care about this channel on a whole nother level. I love it when people subscribe and they watch the videos every once in a while. They come back and they remember, that Chaingear Gaming exists. I get it. You subscribe to a whole bunch of channels, but there's always a couple people that come on board.
Even though there's that one subscriber that's here, I'm just here for the cooking segment.
Right. Which I haven't done in a while, right? So it's like I apologize, but there's a lot of you guys are out there.
Apologize on the show.
Yeah, no, we don't apologize. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody for I do plan on doing something hopefully a little bit bigger for 800 subs. So big changes are coming to the channel soon. And one of the reasons I wanted to mention it here is because this is the 25th episode of GearCast, which is a big deal as well, because we started this months ago when the channel really first kind of started. It's a big deal. So this is something that we're pretty happy about. We're pretty excited about. And so I wanted to take this time to mention something we're going to talk about in a different video, hopefully shown maybe on Monday. So stay tuned for that. But basically there are some changes. I don't want to say huge changes, but there are definitely some changes coming in to Chaingear Gaming. You're going to start seeing some branding unification. That's really for me. I'm really excited about that. But you're also going to see some more people involved. You guys have already noticed that there have been lots of guests here on Chaingear Gaming and GearCast. But there's now officially a new member of the Chaingear Gaming GearCast crew, which we'll come up with a name for it. I don't know if we're going to call it the CG crew or what, Gear Squad. But I want to go ahead and officially extend an invitation, and I want all of you guys to say hello to the wonderful and very helpful Scarlosa, otherwise known as Elizabeth Kate. Scarlosa, how are you? How are you today?
I'm pretty good. The first thing I want to say is please go for CG crew.
CG crew. All right, we'll put it up for vote. There's only 3 of us, so
yeah. With what Peaches is doing now.
So yeah, I want to let everybody know we are going to go ahead and do a whole separate video talking about the changes coming to GearCast and Chaingear Gaming and things like that, because there are some things coming up. You're definitely going to be more involved in some of our videos, in some production ways, kind of backstage as well, and so that's going to be really, really helpful. But so everybody, welcome Elizabeth Kate here, Scarlosa. Scarlosa. You guys may or may not know Scarlosa because she actually had her own YouTube channel here on YouTube that gained success pretty quickly. And I know you do plan on kind of going back into YouTube at some point, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that in another video. But it's not just myself and Peaches and new Gear Squad, Chaingear Gaming, GearCast crew member Scarlosa. It's also one of my favorite subs of all time. If you guys don't know him, then there's something wrong. Like literally, there's something wrong. This is this guy right here.
He was around before you, Drugan Fruit.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, Drugan, I love you, man. I mean, you've been around, but you haven't been around like this dude's been around. I met this guy because he subbed to the channel and was just leaving comments everywhere. like on the most random videos that had like no views. And this guy was watching them all, putting like the biggest like comments, and like they were in depth. Like I had to look up stuff that he was talking about in the comments sometimes. Like it was good. And then I remember I did a gun week. I can't remember which gun week it was. And he submitted a video for the gun week, and it was early on for gun week, and he had made a video, started a YouTube channel for it. And that was really, really great. Watched that. That was the first time I ever had heard of this guy. And then I really, I kind of knew him because of Blacklight Retribution. And then I knew he was a big contributor to BCL. And so if you guys don't know who I'm talking about at this point, I'm talking about the one, the only Mexican5243, otherwise also known as Assassin5243. I believe if those numbers are correct. Mexican, how are you today? Thank you for joining us.
Who that? No, sorry. Oh man, it's so good.
You cut it off right there because you were like the one, the only Mexican. I was like,
he's the only Mexican.
The only Mexican in all gaming now.
Which we'll definitely talk about at some point today. But I'm glad that you're on the show, Mexican. I am glad that you are on the show.
Can we leave that assassin? Because that's weird.
I mean, his name's Mexican.
Mexican assassin.
I mean, I'm sure people think the name Peaches is weird. So I mean,
sure.
You identify
assassins. Maybe they'll change it up and be like, we're gonna have a Mexican assassin for like the next game.
I mean, who knows? It'll be the next Overwatch hero,
right? Yeah. So
I mean, there kind of was a Mexican assassin in Assassin's Creed, but it wasn't like the main character. It was just like a side in AC4.
Fair enough. You'd probably know better than I would. I have no idea. AC4. Which one's AC4?
Black Flag.
Black Flag.
Yeah.
Adewale was my dude.
I don't know. I didn't.
I hated Kenway.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Kind of a. I don't know.
He wasn't too much of an assassin. He was too much of a pirate.
That was kind of the big point, right? Well, okay, all right. Before we start jumping into talking about Assassin's Creed, let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into who you are, Mexican. Like, who are you? Tell us a little bit about you. How did you get started gaming? Actually, before we even get there,
okay.
How did you get? What's the name? Where did Mexican, and especially where did the numbers come from? 5243. I gotta know that.
I get asked this a lot, though. The numbers. Okay, first the name, Mexican5243, because well, when I first started on the PS3, well, I gained on before that, but that's when I had to make a username.
Sure.
My brother gave me his account, well, not his account, but the name Mexican5243, because he's like, oh, here, just have this. Since I was like, what? I was pretty young.
Okay.
I was, too small to do that. And ever since, then, it's been Mexican5243.
Gotcha.
I like to think that you actually, on PS4, you typed in Mexican, and then Mexican 1, Mexican 2. And then you got projected.
All the way to 5,000. 5243 pretty much is like.
I finally found it.
Because we're like a family of gamers. Like my brother used to play, my nephew and my niece, they play. And every single one of us has a 5243 at the end. It just started out as a simple. No one else has the numbers 5243. You might as well take it.
Interesting.
So you guys, family.
So you inherited this number.
Yeah.
And you inherited the entire username.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Since we're on the name of, or since we're on the topic of usernames, Scarlosa, how did you come up with your name? I know obviously you're kind of known as Elizabeth Kate in some circles, but Scarlosa is kind of how you're known on the intranet. So the intranet is actually different than the internet.
Yeah.
So on the internet, how did you come up with Scarlosa?
Growing up, I kind of wish my name was Scarlet, and the Osa, I just sort of came up with it because it made it sound cooler.
Okay, fair enough. I do hear the Osa at the end of things now. Like it's kind of like a thing, like Stylosa, Isalosa. I have heard the Osa thing.
Listen to that man talk about Overwatch for now.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you add that to can you add Osa to the end of your username?
Chainosa.
Chainosa.
Oh, Chainosa. Chainosa sounds like an alcoholic breakfast drink.
Pichosa? Oh yes, yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, like a mimosa.
You can just call me Mimosa.
Yeah. All right. So cool. All right. So we know how you got the name. Tell us how you started gaming. Like when did all of this happen for you?
Wait, for who? I'm sorry.
Man, yes, man. We'll interview Kate later. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I started as a child. Okay. A long time on PS1. Before that, Game Boy. Before that, Nintendo 64. It was a long time ago. Pretty much, my brother, since he's older than me, had a gaming systems like that. I grew up playing Mario, and like we would always play that too. And then afterwards, we moved on to I think the GameCube. And Turok Evolution was my game, man.
Ooh, hold up, pause. Yes. I remember Turok Evolution was the first like M-rated game I played, I think.
Yeah.
And like I didn't own it, so like I went to my friend's house and played Turok and killing dinosaurs.
I want to shoot dinosaurs.
Oh, it was the best, man. You played as a Native American, right? Using tomahawks and bows to kill freaking dinosaurs? Like, how better can it get?
I want a really gritty, like current gen reboot for Turok.
There was for PS3.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Oh, right,
And Primal Carnage is kind of like the spiritual successor to that game.
Yeah. I'm just looking for a remake or a reboot or anything, man. Turok, man. That game was awesome.
Yeah, dinosaurs don't really come up in games anymore. Dinosaurs used to be kind of a cool thing, like zombies or vampires or something like that. It's not really a thing. It would be cool to kind of see that come back. I don't know if like the killing of dinosaurs. I mean, I just feel like that was like a huge like kill some dinosaurs.
Oh my god, the remake was so bloody. Like, all right, there's a raptor, right? You would go on it, grab the knife, and like just slice his neck while you're right on top of it. Like it was intense.
And this is what we played when we
But
were
the developers
kids.
like there's no one to offend because the dinosaurs are all dead. So
Yeah, it's like
No one's triggered.
Like now.
Oh man.
So like, just kill them all again. Like this time will be the reason for the genocide.
you kill the dinosaurs.
So
much back
what
then.
else did you play on GameCube?
Hunter. I played a Hunter. It was like a top-down, like 4 players, like local. You can play in like another controller.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, you killed zombies, and it gets pretty deep because there's like different classes.
Okay.
There's like the priest with a crossbow, like he has a cross as a sword. And I always played him because that was pretty cool. Like, come on, a cross as a sword, being a priest, killing zombies. Like, you can't get better than that.
That sounds like a character.
And then
Helsing, actually.
and then I moved on to PS1. And the PlayStation family. That's what it is in my family. PlayStation. Like we never got an Xbox.
Good. I mean, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. JK.
I know, right? My friends have Xboxes. Like, you guys failed me. But and, I don't remember that much about PS1 to be honest. I think I had a 007 like a racing game, but with guns. 007.
007 racing game. I'm picturing like.
No, it wasn't like that. I mean, I didn't play GoldenEye, but there was like one with like centered on cars. Like, you could shoot each other up. It was like a Twisted Metal kind of.
Okay.
No, 007.
It was based on 007. Interesting.
I'm literally picturing like Sean Connery be like, "I'm going to shoot the crap."
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, man.
So you went from Nintendo to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Very similar to myself. Very similar to Peach as well. I did have an Xbox phase, but it phased out real quick. No, I'm just kidding.
I look like a dilapidated corpse rotting in the center of your room for the longest time. Like, you gonna put that together at some point? And you're like, no.
Xbox 360. I had some issues. Wasn't always working. Also had my PC, obviously. But it's good to know a little bit about how you kind of got into where you are now. So what are you playing right now? Like, what are some games? I know you're playing Paragon.
Paragon for life, man.
new hero just came out, right? Are they called heroes or champions or?
They're just pretty much called heroes. Like, you can call them whatever you want, really.
Right. The new character.
He's gonna come out Tuesday. Quang.
Yeah.
Kwang? I'm not sure.
I'm not gonna lie, he looks pretty dope. Every single time a new character gets introduced, I have to come in and beat the crap out of some bots real quick.
Because alright, with this ability, you can like throw a sword anywhere, and you can teleport back to it, and like you can. That sounds so OP because you can go to the core, backdoor it, inhibitor.
Oh yeah, good point.
It takes long to respawn now, and it's so slow right now because you can't run fast anymore.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, back then it was like the Flash.
Yeah,
you could go anywhere. Now it's like, what's the point?
True.
Signal guy like left lane.
So Paragon. What else are you playing?
Uncharted
Overwatch,
4?
don't like it. So, Uncharted 4. Okay, Uncharted 4.
Yeah,
I know. We can talk. Okay, let's break it down for a second. Yes, you heard right, Carlos. He does not like Overwatch. Don't know what's up with that, but
I can explain. Okay,
let's hear it.
All right,
you got a minute, so we can move on. But you got a minute.
For me, it seems more too much of a free-to-play game. Like, if it was a free to play, it would have been like the best. Because okay, there's the loot boxes, so much microtransactions, and that sort of feels like to me. When I was playing, I was like, I guess it's all fun and all. It's just not for me. I'd rather just play Paragon.
Some loot box in that game, it ruins his entire night. We'd be like, yeah, guys, we won. Like, oh, great.
And then you open it, and it's like, I get this garbage, and it's like, this is what I,
No, there's, I mean, I feel like, have we done an episode on? We have done an episode on Overwatch.
Yeah, we have.
We should probably do like a Overwatch I don't know, like coming back to update or something. Because
let me acknowledge the chat a little bit. Jurgen, the hair's not new. It's been purple forever. I guess it's on a different side. And Muhammad is...
Oh, that's Momdu. Yeah.
Anime Peaches, yeah.
Anime Peaches.
Thank you.
Overwatch memes.
Yeah, so for you guys that are watching on YouTube afterwards, feel free to make sure you guys stay tuned to the chat and all these other things, or not the chat, like the Twitter and everything else to see when we do these live. Otherwise, you're going to be a little confused. The chat basically just, is talking about Peach's hair. So anyway, Paragon,
best topic ever.
I know. Paragon, Uncharted 4, you don't like Overwatch, which I completely understand. We'll definitely have to come back to that.
Yeah, because Paragon's more like I guess like more GTO dog,
Yeah,
it's like more serious.
No, we'll definitely talk about Overwatch at some point, because that's an important topic. But anything else that you're playing? Uncharted 4 is fantastic. Definitely would love to do maybe like a GearCast plays. Have you on it? Have not played Uncharted 4's multiplayer in months, so I'd love to go ahead and hop back into that. Anything else that you're playing currently?
I mean, not really. Like I play a lot of games. Most of it's been Paragon, man.
Gotcha. No, I totally get it. I guess to kind of move into the rest of the crew, myself, I've literally been playing one game, and that's just because my time has been crazy. If you guys watch the channel, you guys know timing is everything for me right now. I basically work till 8 o'clock, come home, and I have time to make a video and then play Overwatch, and that's what I play. I do love my other games, like don't get me wrong, Deus Ex Human Revolution, or Mankind Divided, have not been able to even advance in that at all. It's basically been Overwatch night and day with this guy, with Elizabeth Kate, otherwise known as Scarlosa. Don't worry, I'll get that, Kate, Scarlosa. And the Fat Kid Baby Seat, hopefully we'll get him.
Baby Seat.
You guys have actually, some of you guys who have been around for a long time actually have met Fat Kid Baby Seat. He was in one or two of our GearCast before.
He's also obnoxiously good at Uncharted 4 multiplayer.
He's obnoxiously good at everything.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have him back on the channel. But Overwatch all day and night. Don't play anything else yet. Hopefully maybe today or tomorrow. Actually not today, but tomorrow I will not beat, but move progressively forward in Deus Ex Mankind Divided. So then I could go through my second playthrough.
Wait, did you beat MGS5 yet?
Anyway, Peaches, what did you play?
How could you?
I'm going to Solid 5 Phantom Pain today. I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about that. What have I been playing?
Yeah.
I've been playing. Well, there's something wrong with me recently. Because when I sit down, because now I got like really long workshop days and stuff, because I'm back in school, I'm back in class, and I've been drawing, again, between 4 to 7 hours a day now. Now that's the new average. I come back, I'm like, what do I want to do? Because I was like, I got the BioShock collection, which I've been excited about forever because I never really.
By the way, made by or helped development Heartsuit Labs. So shout out to Heartsuit Labs. Shout out to you, Lord Alf. I know you're watching this.
There you go.
Right.
But the thing is, I got about like an hour through, and I'm like freaking loving it. Like the first BioShock, even though it's like almost a decade old, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
True. Lately, it's one of those things where once I get home, I want to be able to do something that's repetitive, familiar, and like mindless that I can just listen to a podcast over. So I've been playing more Attack on Titan. Like I was just sitting there grinding away at these things. So here's the thing.
Now just so you're aware, I'm not sure if you're aware, the Impressions has not come out yet.
No, it's not.
We don't have the gameplay. There is a video coming out about the Attack on Titan game, so don't worry.
Yeah, so in general,
don't spoil too much of it.
I don't know what it is, but a lot of Japanese games. That's like, one, what's a menu? What's UI? What is that? I don't know. Here's a bunch of squares everywhere, and I'm like, why do you do this to me? Two, No, it's like I see a lot of like a lot of gaming has transcended into mobile because Japan, you're always on the train, you're always on the subway, you're always out and about doing things. So a lot of there's a lot of comfort in repetition. There's a lot of I'm going to go out, I'm going to just do this over and over, whittle away at progress and stuff. That's just the way that Japanese gaming is. Like a lot of the time, a lot of these RPGs and such. But Attack on Titan, oh my god! When I think that I'm progressing through, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep beating these missions. Then it's like, by the way, this whole new portion of the game just opened up for like another 90 hours of repetitive missions, and I'm like,
oh, are you talking about when you beat it and then like,
now there's all this like new content.
Yeah, they basically pull an MGS5.
Yes.
Yeah, basically. You beat it, and then they're like, by the way, do it all over again with it's like the same stuff, but not really. Just play it again.
Yep. And I was just like, come on, I'm like almost 70% through the trophies, so I'm really in that thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I want to sit down and do this. But other than that,
farm the trophies, kids.
But other than that, I'm trying to make more time for Vita just because I'm in like the studio most days or doing homework and stuff. So I want to be able to sit out and play something before I go back in. And I finally got the darkest dungeon. Like I need my hardcore RPG fix. You know what I mean? Like I need it. This is the sign.
Chaingear Gaming.
Chaingear Gaming.
CG.
This is a little weird, but no, I played Darkest Dungeon. I played 20 minutes of that. The Black Knight of comic books, Jair James saw me play a little bit of that. Maybe we'll talk about it because it's that XCOM that you and I wanted to get.
Yeah.
But a very important game is coming out next week that we literally have to. I feel like you and I have been playing games like, oh god, we gotta beat this because Mafia 3 is coming out next week. Oh god. So that's what I've been doing.
All right, cool. All right, Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon. That's what you're playing most of the right now. Darkest Dungeon. Cool. Scarlosa, what are you playing?
Overwatch and Minecraft.
Nice. Classic games. Hopefully you guys will actually see some Scarlosa gameplay coming up soon on the channel for Overwatch. Don't always have time to record gameplay, so hopefully that'll be nice. And hopefully we'll also do a GearCast Plays with myself and Scarlosa, just so you guys can kind of hear how we. I
actually would like a server tour because the thing is,
a server tour for Minecraft.
Scarlosa is pretty crizzle with the Minecraft izzle. Like we'll show you like our collective server that we've been working on forever, and then we're gonna go into a Scarlosa server, which is absolutely freaking nuts.
Can be chill.
Which, by the way, hilarious. Me, her, and our buddy Mira Mija, we were sitting down playing games, and I hear, "Oh no!" And so she starts freaking out. Like, what happens? Like, okay, well, I was making this thing out of wool, and now all of it's on fire.
I actually saw that. Good point.
Oh, the Herobrine stuff. How it's like haunted.
Yeah, you wanna
or something like that.
Do you actually, Mexican, you don't like Minecraft, right?
No.
You don't like happiness either, do you?
My nephew used to watch all his Minecraft videos. Like, this guy would have, I think, an Irish or like English accent. I was like, stop, you can't watch that here. It's not. I just don't like it. Oh, man, he was afraid of a Herobrine. And that got me so mad because, how? Like, what? Like, it's not going to go through your... I can't. I just can't.
I can understand that. After you go through like having someone like it's like Happy Wheels, right? Like maybe Happy Wheels is fun.
Yeah.
But I've seen so many stupid playthroughs of Happy Wheels. I'll never touch Happy Wheels in my life. Like I don't care. It could be the best game on the planet. Like GTA 5, ruined. I'll never play it. I never even got to beat the game.
I'm downloading it again because Biker DLC is coming out next week.
No, cool. You have fun with that. Me? No, I'm not gonna touch it. Because I'm so tired of looking at all these little channels doing. I'm not saying little channels. I'm just saying channels that are annoying. That literally just have
there's so many
GTA 5 like stuff. For me personally, that's just not fun for me. But
to me, it's the same with Goat Simulator. I'm like, what's that other one? Surgeon Simulator as well.
Yeah.
It's like I can't play.
So for me, like I like Surgeon Sim. I just avoid it because I have Surgeon Sim, and so I just like wanted to avoid it. So I got lucky and avoided Surgeon Sim a lot. So I had the game and didn't really get to watch gameplay for it, but I obviously know what it is. But
for me, it's anime fight reactions.
We're getting. You mean like Afro Senju or no?
Like Afro Senju is perfect, but people are like, "Here, watch me react to like Vegeta fighting this guy." I'm like, get out, please.
Yeah, sure, fair enough. Okay, so before we get completely off topic here, guys, we're gonna come back onto the rails. I know a lot of you guys are here in the chat. I appreciate that. Yes, the title of this video is, I think it's blacks in gaming or black people in games.
Black
people in video games? Question mark. We will talk about that. We will talk about that. First, to the news. For those that don't know, we like to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. Actually, originally, this whole podcast was created because myself and Peaches needed to catch up. And so we wanted to put some time aside each week to go ahead and talk to you guys and talk about the industry, what's going on. So I want to drop some news on you guys. You guys now know who Mexican is. You know who Starlos is. You know who we are. Get involved in the comment section or in the chat section below. I'd love to talk to you guys about these things. News piece number 1, the Portal movie. Now, I don't know how many of you guys know the game Portal, one of the best games of all time, Portal 1 and Portal 2. Probably one of the only games that kind of came out of nowhere. The first one was great, and the second one was also great. Like some people, you have to go back and forth saying which one's better. Fantastic series. A Portal movie was announced a long time ago. Kind of just went out of nowhere, kind of like Uncharted movie or Assassin's Creed movie or all these game movies. But the Portal movie is actually now back on track. People have been saying, oh, it's gone forever, whatever. But now there's news that the Portal movie is on track. Now, for those that don't know, video game movies usually suck. The best video game movie of all time is Wreck-It Ralph, and that's not a video game movie. That's a movie with video games in it. It's not based off of a game. It's true, right? I mean, it's like kind of like a random parody of like Donkey Kong to some degree, and then
a couple licensed characters here and there.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Fantastic
Phenomenal movie.
Has lots of video game characters, and I can't wait for a Wreck-It Ralph too. But the issue is like, why are we messing all these video game movies up? I've mentioned this time and time again. Games that are about movies are the ones that you're not shoehorned into making it about like the movie. Like you could, but in the movie universe, for example, like the Arkham games, very good games because they're not tied to the movies. They're just tied to the source material overall, right? And I think that those are the best ones. And I think it's the same thing. I think if you're going to make a game about, or if you're gonna make a movie about a game, just utilize the universe. Like the Hitman movie that came out apparently was trash. Just put it in the same universe, do your own spin, make something up. I really don't care, but you keep messing up these movies and we're just getting upset and we keep paying for them. I don't pay for them. I don't watch that anymore. But I'm really hoping that the Portal movie will be really good. Portal is is held so highly in the gaming universe. Mexican and Scarlosa. Starting with Mexican. Have you played Portal before? Are you excited about this?
I have not played Portal ever. I mean, I thought it was just a PC game, but I saw like on a PlayStation Store, and I was like, nah.
Well, it's good. I don't know if you'll like it since you don't like happiness, but I was gonna say but I would definitely give it a shot if you have a chance. I don't know. You might like honestly, if you don't have it doesn't exist right now. Like if you have a PlayStation 4, there's no way for you to play it. The only way would be using PlayStation Now, which you can get a free trial for or whatever. If you have a PlayStation 3, you can go ahead and get at least the second one. I know. If you have a PC, the game's always on sale, extremely inexpensive. Both of them 1 and 2, but fantastic games. Scarlosa, you have played the game, correct?
Yeah, I have bad experiences with Portal, but I plan on playing it again.
True. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely suggest trying it again. Fantastic game, fun. It's a single player experience, right? It's a fun single player experience. Have you played Portal? Maybe this is just for me. Maybe this news is just for me.
I love Portal. Like I beat the first one 3 times, and it's one of those games that literally had me in tears, like laughing. And also, it's that perfect blend of really engaging puzzle gameplay, comedy, and a lot of really dark narrative as well. It's just really fun. But the game that Portal 2 is a game that I didn't beat, but me and our buddy Adam, we played the co-op excessively.
Gotcha. And
by play excessively, Adam would be like, hey, do that thing where you put the portal on the top and the bottom. I'm like, okay, and he's like, yeah, and he just jumps in for a half hour, and I'm like, right, so how was your day? And then we would just talk. He's like, yeah, it was good. And whatever. But they're extremely funny, extremely charming. I think they're extremely important games.
Yeah.
Also, Portal 1 is just one of those things where you need to find a way to play it. It's literally going to take you an hour to beat if you're pretty savvy and collective. And,
sure,
if you know what you're doing. Also, it's writing. It's just the writing itself is worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you know, we can kind of end this piece of news there, but I definitely think I'm really excited for it.
The reason I'm excited because J.J. Abrams, he wants to head it and he wants to direct it and stuff, and he loves the source material.
He might be then because it's already going forward.
Sure,
it's already happening, so he might be. I don't have all that information, but yeah, I'm excited because I think it's great. I mean, I played Portal 1, beat Portal 1, played Portal 2, beat Portal 2, and I watched playthroughs of both with a good friend of mine. It doesn't matter what his name is, but yeah, but I mean, yeah,
Barack Obama.
Literally sat there, watched him play them all, loved it, and I'm really excited for it. I'd love to see maybe even like a remastering or something come out.
Fat Princess is the greatest game of all time, says Potato Z Explorer. Sorry,
it was kind of fun.
Again, for all of those people who are watching this on YouTube, he's reading the chat. Next piece of news. For those that don't know, there's a game coming out called Dragon Quest Builders. Now, I think that this is important because a lot of people think that Minecraft is this game that like started this huge movement of voxel-based gaming. Voxel meaning basically the squares that you see, building with squares. Not true. But it is the one that, Minecraft is the one that kind of built it out. Mojang, they're the ones that made this game really come to fruition. The voxel gameplay come to fruition. It's kind of like
3D Dot Heroes, that sort of thing, like before Minecraft.
Sure, yeah. Well, I don't think 3D Dot Heroes was before Minecraft.
Sure, I didn't know.
No. The 3D Dot Heroes came out with like PlayStation 3.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, voxel gaming has been around for a while. Think of Mojang in Minecraft like Apple and the iPhone. Touch screens were terrible. And just they're so bad. And then, Apple kind of figured out how to perfect it. They did. And now everybody thinks that Apple made the first smartphone. Not true, but it's really the most important smartphone that came out. Same thing with Minecraft. Minecraft's really the most important voxel game that ever came out. And so there's a game called Dragon Quest Builders. If you guys don't know what Dragon Quest is, that's fine. The majority of people in the United States don't know what Dragon Quest is. Dragon Quest is a series. Dragon Quest
Moriarty won't shut the hell up about.
Yeah, I still will hopefully one day get one of my really great friends, Thomas, on here because he is a Japanese role-playing game fiend. Has played almost every single one, I swear.
Akira Toriyama, the artist for Dragon Ball.
Dragon Quest
does the character design for that game, which is why I was interested in it. I was like, I don't know what this is, but Toriyama's drawn it, and it's like that guy looks like Goku. Yeah,
Dragon Quest is really well known in some parts of the world and around some circles, but it's an RPG, and they recently have been taking the franchise and the source material and plugging it into other things, right? So, for example, Koei Tecmo made a Hyrule Warriors type of game with it, which was called like Dragon Quest Legends or something. I do plan on buying that once it's a little bit cheaper. But that was always really cool for me. I think a second one's coming out as well, and now they're having Dragon Quest Builders. So look it up if you don't know what it is. But Dragon Quest Builders, the only reason I wanted to bring this up is because there's actually a demo out now on PlayStation 4.
Whoa,
so
really?
Yeah, I think it's important that people try this game because no one really knows about it. And if you like Minecraft, or even more important, if you don't like Minecraft, I think you should try this game. And I think the reason I say this is because I remember I hated Minecraft as well. And it wasn't until I got hooked on Terraria, whatever, that I then started playing Minecraft. And I think
LBP for you.
Okay, Little Big Planet. I feel you do. I played Little Big Planet 1, 2, have 3 or 4. I can't remember which one it is now.
3 shall not be mentioned. Okay.
It's 3 the one with like the Well, I have 3. I just never played it.
It was a huge fail.
Well, I'm gonna try it anyway.
It was fun, but still, it's like compared to the last games.
Yeah. I've heard. It wasn't made by Media Molecule and things like that.
No.
Correct. Yeah. So, but I'll definitely go ahead and give it a shot. But I definitely think that you guys should go ahead and try Dragon Quest Builders. So without spending too much more time on it, check that out. Check the demo. Another piece of news. This is a big one. I think for myself, for Peaches, and also for Scarlosa. Not sure if it's a big one for you, Mexican. There's this little game that we actually played on the channel here, and I got my butt whooped just a little bit. Look it up. GearCast plays Nidhogg. Nidhogg is a 1v1 fencing game. It is extremely fun. You should definitely buy it if you have at least one friend who's willing to get into a fight with you. Get Nidhogg and settle all of your problems with Nidhogg. There is a Nidhogg 2 coming out. Again, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go ahead and check this out on the channel. GearCast plays Nidhogg. Nidhogg is spelled Nidhogg. Definitely check this out. You and I have played Nidhogg.
Yes.
I played a lot of Nidhogg back in college, did a lot of tournaments with Nidhogg. People love this game. A second one is coming out. How do you feel about this?
The art style is definitely weird.
I don't like it at all.
So I'll say this, right? The first Nidhogg had class. It's a fencing game between two pixelated characters, and you have to strategically move your blade up and down and use coordinated thrusts to kill and stab your opponent. The second one, they just took the party game aspect and was just like, okay, let's rate like rabbits this crap. And so I was just like, look at all these new different weapons and stuff. That stuff is kind of cool, but with the weird wacky faces and the weird thing, I'm like, all the dignity and all, again, like that class sophistication that came out of Nidhogg being in that kind of game, it was just like thrown out the window. And I was like, I'm going to buy this anyway for my club, but I'm like.
Yeah, I think there's something weird. I mean, because the game, for those that don't know, Nidhogg is like pixels. It's literally just like pixels. So it's like little stick figures. And that kind of gives it some sort of, as you kind of mentioned,
very interesting atmosphere.
Sorry, Scarlett, what did you say?
It's charm.
Yeah, I completely agree. It adds a lot of charm to the game. And now they're kind of like these 3D bubble-looking structure dudes, and it's a little weird. I think it does. Obviously, it's the vision for the developers, the designers. For myself, I was able to portray whatever I wanted on these stick figures, and so it was, I didn't really have to think about it. It was all about the gameplay. Now there are these like little weird like bubble figures, and I don't really know how I feel about that. Though I do have to say two things. One is I am very excited about all the new weapons, because the game is really repetitive, and so at some point you kind of just stop.
It is a party game in a sense of like, I got a couple buddies out. Let's pull this up.
Yeah, it's either a party game. It's either a party game or a true duel to the death. So I mean, it's either or, and so I think that they actually might, because of these like little bubble structures. What it did remind me of is Ragdoll. And so I think they might actually be doing a little bit of something where, depending on where you get hit or what happens, the ragdoll physics changes a little bit, and that would be really cool to see. Even though I don't like the little
ragdoll kung fu back in the day.
Yeah.
Ragdoll kung fu. Scarlosa, how do you feel about a new Nidhogg 2 coming out? I know you and I actually played Nidhogg. I know you were probably in the best form to play it, but how did you feel about it?
Did you whoop his butt too?
No.
That sounds exciting. I haven't seen it. But you've kind of put me off the idea.
Yeah, I kind of destroyed her in Nidhogg. But if I get it, definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, definitely. It was really fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I love the game. I think it's great. And so now the only unfortunate thing is that this has not been announced for PS4. It's only been announced for PC. But it is coming out in 2017, so there's tons of time to hear, when exactly it's going to come out and if it's going to come out for other consoles or other platforms. So hopefully we'll see it come out for other things. All right, so aside from Nidhogg, aside from Dragon Quest Builders and the Portal movie, here is something that all of us here, aside from Druk and Fruities in the chat, will be able to enjoy. Because we have PlayStations. and probably because you guys have PlayStation Plus. And if you don't, I will go ahead and say what I used to say all the time. If you don't have PlayStation Plus, sell all of your games and get it now. I'm just kidding. But you really definitely need to get it. You should have hopped on it early. I think the price just went up by $10. But it's $10 for the whole year, so who cares? Literally, it's a cheeseburger. Slow yourself down. But PlayStation Plus October is bringing 2 fantastic games to PlayStation Plus. Other games coming out as well for PlayStation 3 and PS Vita, but we don't really need to talk about those because we're the only 2 Vita owners in the world.
Yeah. And Gyre,
fair enough. PlayStation Plus October is bringing a game that I was really excited about that I purposely didn't buy. Transformers Devastation. This is a game that is by one of my favorite developers of all time. Platinum Games.
So I love the source material. You love the developer. Yeah. Because I was just like, oh my god, look at Bumblebee like punching the crap out of some Bulbatron, blah blah blah, and you were like, Platinum made this game. I'm gonna get it. But I was like, I want to spend money right now. I was like, it was one of those things where it was a perfect frame of release of this game could possibly be free for PlayStation Plus down the line. You know what I mean? It was one of the things where I hope it's free. Which happened all the time in the later the PS3 life cycle. It's like, I don't want to buy it because it might be.
True. Yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to come out for PlayStation Plus these days.
I said Killzone.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a good month.
Yeah. So Transformers Devastation, I'm really excited about. If you guys don't know about Transformers Devastation, again, obviously Transformers, and the second most important piece is that it's by Platinum Games, so the gameplay is going to be really, really solid. The other game that I know you're probably really excited for, but I think you already got it, is Resident Evil.
No, you didn't say it right.
Resident Evil.
HD, now everyone can play it this Halloween.
HD. Probably will never play this game.
No.
I hate old stuff, and so I'm not going to play it. But guys should definitely. I'm really excited because
that's what I was hype about.
I mean, hey, if you're going to play it, do either of you guys plan on playing either Transformers Devastation or Resident Evil? Starting with Scarlosa this time.
If they cost money, no.
PlayStation Plus.
I don't have PlayStation Plus.
Oh, you're one of those people.
I can't afford it.
But I'm pretty sure, like we've talked about this before, is like don't buy anything. Like buy a PlayStation 4 and then buy PlayStation Plus and don't buy anything else. Granted, you bought Overwatch. I get it.
Overwatch is very important.
I get it. But I'm just letting you know, when you get a couple more dollars, PlayStation Plus is it's the next best thing that you need to get. Because if you don't have PlayStation Plus,
you're not gonna be able to gives you everything.
Yeah, literally. And then if you do get any other games, you're not gonna be able to play online. You know what I mean?
Unless it's Paragon.
Unless it's Paragon.
To play.
I didn't know you didn't need PlayStation Plus to play Overwatch.
I didn't know that either.
Wait, you don't?
Apparently not, because we played the other night.
Yeah, Scarlosa does not have PlayStation Plus, and you're playing Overwatch.
Shout out to the best diva on the Gear squad.
I'm using my friend's PlayStation Plus because his account is primary on my.
So you can play Transformers Devastation and Resident Evil.
No. Because you only get some of the benefits of PlayStation Plus. If you look at the website, there's like.
Seems like a primary PS4.
It's like you get to play online and you get some of the PlayStation Plus benefits, but you don't get all of them.
Yeah, but you can still play their if your friend's account is the primary account, you can
download games. It should be available for everybody.
Come on, Scarlosa, come on!
You're just missing out on the value of PlayStation.
Or I could just use your account.
That's fair enough. Whatever works. You can't actually do that because again, it's not the primary account.
It's not PS3.
You have to use your whatever the primary.
Oh yeah, but you're right.
This is a conversation for another time. If you guys want me to go ahead and do a video on PlayStation Plus, I will, but I won't get paid for it, so I won't. Anyway, Mexican, how about yourself? Are you excited for Transformers Devastation and or Resident Evil?
I'm excited for Resident Evil. I always wanted to play Resident Evil, especially the first one. But I'm not sure if what was it on back then? The console, I just didn't have it.
Yeah.
And now I have a chance to play it remastered, like with the graphics actually look better.
Super HD.
I'm hyped for that. super rich, yeah. Transformers? I'm not a huge fan, to be honest.
A creative happiness.
Yeah, so I'm also not. I'll be honest. I'm not really a big fan of Transformers either. But what I am excited for is Platinum Games. I've played every single Platinum Games game aside from anything that was on Nintendo consoles, which there are 2 or 3 games on Nintendo consoles by Platinum. But if you like action-based games, like I'm talking about, like I don't know if you've played Bayonetta or if you've played Metal Gear Rising or Vanquish. Vanquish is a PlayStation 3 game. Those are all by, or Beautiful Joe. Those are all by Platinum Games. Those are all by Platinum Games. Fantastic. If you like those sort of action games, I would definitely try Transformers Devastation. Granted, it's not their best game. It was a very low budget game because of the publisher Activision. And
still looks great. The cell shading looks so good.
Yeah, I think there's nothing in it. There's no environment. The environments are terrible.
But of course, also that's from me being a Gen 1 Transformers nerd.
Sure. Yeah, I'm more of a Michael Bay kind of guy. All right, so those are the PlayStation Plus games. Let me know if you guys are excited for that. Tell us in the comment section or in the chat section below. Here, let's go a little faster here. We're almost at the hour mark. I definitely want another 30 minutes to talk about the true topic of the day. This is a big one, literally for you and me.
This is such weird news. I feel like they were like passing by, like it's one of our conversations. True. It's because we missed this game for some reason.
And they were just like, oh.
This is for the Gear Squad.
What of my favorite games back in the day on PlayStation 3. Mexican, you may have played this. You may have not. It's really cheap now. You probably can play it on PlayStation now.
For like $6 at GameStop.
You probably can go ahead and get it on your PC, Fruit for you. Bulletstorm. This game is nuts.
Love that game.
It's a crazy game. It's one of those games that came out because it was first-person shooters were all the rage, and they were like, let's go ahead and do something different. Gearbox, I believe, right? Gearbox? They were like, let's go ahead and just do something crazy. And they did. And this game is one of my favorite games for the PlayStation 3. This game is a first-person shooter where you're just like a space pirate or something.
Steve Bloom, you're Steve Bloom. Don't get confused.
Steve Bloom is a voice actor who's a space pirate, and he's just grabbing people with this leash and kicking them.
You got a big boot and you got a lasso.
Yeah, you're like, get over here. And it's a combo-driven FPS game. It's awesome. I love it. It's crazy. It was just so good. And
so
now
you'll kick one guy into like a cactus, rope the other guy, and like punch him. But then as he's like kicking back forward, you shoot him in the balls, and then you lasso his up. It just doesn't stop.
Yeah. Very M-rated.
Extremely M-rated.
You can turn off the language and the gore though. It's actually very funny when you turn off the language because then he's like, yeah.
It was that girl. Remember, it's like, I'll kick you with the Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it does that. Okay.
I'll kill you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's hysterical. So I really hope that people look into this. Basically, it's called Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition. It was rated for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And I'm pretty sure, we're all very sure that it's just a remastering of the first one. I'm excited about this because if this goes well, I think hopefully it'll bode well for a sequel.
How much would you pay for it?
$20.
Yeah,
$30 maybe, but I'd probably just wait for it to go on sale.
Do you think that this is a buffer being like Bulletstorm 2, being like, hey,
there's supposed to be a Bulletstorm 2, right? Like if you guys have, I mean, obviously with no spoilers, because I want you guys to play this and I don't want you to feel like we spoiled it for you. At the end, it's very open for a sequel. I think,
and we want one.
Yeah, I would love one. So I hope that this comes out. It's a crazy game. Is it Gearbox? Actually, I don't know if it's Gearbox because I see right now it says Epic, so maybe it's Epic Games.
Oh yeah, it's Epic.
I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, either way, coming out in 2017.
They specialize in.
We'll have more information when a trailer drops. But just wanted to let you guys know
when the trailer drops.
With a very similar, actually, I think it is Gearbox because I heard something about that. We'll figure this out later. Another big piece of information coming out is that, and this is kind of for myself and Scarlos, so we'll have a little bit of a conversation here, not too long, 2 minutes, because we're running out of time for this segment. Battleborn, there's a big rumor that Battleborn is going to free to play. For those that don't know, I'm actually a huge fan of Battleborn. There are some huge issues with Battleborn, though. And I think the biggest issue is the fact that it launched when Overwatch came out, which means you're beat, right? Like it's a better game in terms of the amount of content. It has a ridiculous amount of content.
It didn't stand a chance, to be honest.
What?
It didn't stand a chance against Overwatch.
Exactly. Yeah, that was it was really, really, really upsetting. Just the fact that you couldn't, there was just no, you couldn't do anything. Like Overwatch came out and it just took the world by storm. And I think the two biggest issues were just the fact that the graphics weren't anywhere, and it was like 720p with 30 frames per second. What are you guys doing? The source material is fantastic. The lore is fantastic.
I love the character design.
Yeah, there's so many great characters. They're hysterical. The characters it's still the great Borderlands type of material that you're used to. And unfortunately, it just didn't go well. So apparently there was this huge rumor that it was going to go free to play. That is a rumor. And Kevin Levine, not Kevin Levine, who am I thinking of? Gearbox man,
Randy Pitchford,
that's what I'm thinking of. Comes out and he says, no, this game's not going free to play, but we do recognize that we need to get people in front of it, and so there's going to be a free trial coming out, and it's not a timed free trial. That's interesting. I think that's very interesting. I think the trial will probably be like playing probably like an online mode or something where you're able to go ahead and play the first like 2 or 3 missions, similar to he's freaking out about comments. We'll get to that. Similarly to things what was I thinking of? Oh, similar to Doom. How Doom's trial is not a timed trial, correct? Or maybe it is a time trial. I thought it was like the first mission.
No, it's only the first mission.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great way to get people involved. Scarlosa, how do you feel about this? I think this, you and I played this game. Are you excited to see more people get in front of it? Do you not care? Would you be interested to see go free to play?
Definitely. I really want more people to play it because, like you said, it's just really, really sad that it didn't get more attention because I feel like, I mean, obviously I didn't play the multiplayer or anything, but we played the co-op, and I just feel like it's the perfect game to like order a pizza, sit down, and just like have some fun, because it's not too intense. It's kind of intense.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. It's like a really fun game. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's hard too, right? Like we like it was pretty easy in the beginning, and then like by the end we couldn't beat it. Like it was like holy crap, we had to try. Like we're technically still on the last level, and we just never beat it. Like we just sat there like this is tough. And I agree. I think it was really, really a great game. And I think it's extremely inexpensive now, by the way, for all those who are interested.
I know for a fact that if it goes free to play, I will play the absolute crap out of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go free to play, unfortunately. We are going to talk about a game that is similar to that game that is free to play. But that game, I don't see it going free to play. But I think if it goes on sale to the point where it's $15 or $20 for the full edition, I would drop money on it, guys. Like, I paid $60 for that game, and I don't really regret it. Like, I regret it just because no one played it, and that was really sad for me. Like, it
was very sad for you.
Yeah.
You were so hyping that Snapchat. Like,
I was.
Ooh, I got it.
Yeah. Myself and Scarlosa got to play a lot of it. I was really hoping that possibly Ballistic Phoenix would get it. We just really never got to it, and it's really unfortunate. So I'm hoping that there is a free trial. People do get in front of it. I'd like to see if that actually makes a difference. I'd love to hear if Bethesda had success by having the free trial for Doom or the demo for Doom. I'd love to see if that made a difference or not.
Still, it's still a couple more months, but man. Still Game of the Year material whenever I Doom. Yeah,
that's good. We'll definitely talk about that. VGA is coming up soon. Okay, so a couple more pieces of news. Don't worry, guys. We're getting there. PlayStation Experience. This is a quick one. For those that don't know about this,
we were scared.
Something that we do here on the channel is GearCast Reacts, where we react to things that are happening within the industry. Two things that we will be doing soon is the VGAs. We're going to react to the VGAs. We're also going to react to, which is the Video Game Awards, and we're going to react to PlayStation Experience. The VGAs, I believe, are the 1st and the 2nd of December, and PlayStation Experience is the 3rd and 4th of December. Really exciting week. Honestly, I even thought about flying out there. Not ready for that commitment yet. I could definitely pay for it, but I would be in a bad place financially if I did. So probably next year. But you will see our reaction. Hopefully we'll be in the same place to react to it, so we can do something like this.
We will.
Yeah, I'm really excited for these kind of things. It will be a 4-day thing, so you'll see probably 2 major videos on it. One for VGA and 2 for PSX. But that'll be in Anaheim, California, and that'll be December 3rd and 4th for PlayStation Experience, a big conference where they basically just talk about all the PlayStation games coming up and PlayStation hardware as well. So we'll learn more about PlayStation VR, even though that'll be out this month. And then we'll learn also more about PlayStation Pro, even though PlayStation 4 Pro, which will also be out already in November. But we'll hear more about it, new things coming out, patches that'll be dropped for PlayStation Pro, and things like that. So we'll get to that later. Here's a big one for those who have bought this game, including myself, including my roommate, I'm Taxi, Anthony, for those that know him. No Man's Sky. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Is actually, again, just a recap. I don't really care about No Man's Sky. I have the game, haven't touched it, don't really care. Kind of just waiting for patches to come out. They do come out every once in a while, but people are upset about this game because it was $60. People bought it, and there wasn't as much content as people said. Sure, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. But let's be honest. The dude that was, I can't remember his name. Sean Murray. This guy. He's actually under investigation for false advertising. This is not a
yikes.
This is big, by the way.
This is huge.
We don't see this happening in the video game industry very much at all. We see it happening in obviously big major brands. We see it happening really anywhere else in the industry, but we haven't really seen it much here in the video game industry. And Sean Murray's under investigation for false advertising.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of you two have played No Man's Sky. I know you've seen myself play No Man's Sky.
I played like 10 minutes of it.
True, and you played a couple minutes. How about, so you two, have either of you guys, let's start with Mexican, have you guys played No Man's Sky? Do you have any feelings about this?
No. I thought I was like, this is probably gonna be hyped up because I saw the hype. I was like, doesn't seem like a game I want to play. And then afterwards, I saw the aftermath, and I was just laughing. Everyone was hyped for it, man. It was gonna be like game of the century. Like that's how much hype there was. Yeah, people were expecting it to be the best game ever, no matter what.
Yeah.
But the problem was, they didn't have enough time. Like, they had to push it back even more. But because they pushed it back already, they had to get the game out.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And we have a GearCast. Was it a GearCast? We have a GearCast where we talk about No Man's Sky.
A hype video. Yeah.
But no,
I can always depend on you for knowing.
Yeah, true. You know the whole channel. You know the channel better than we do. But yeah, I know we talked about this before. It was a tough subject because again, I did buy it for $60. I usually don't lament those kind of purchases just because at least I get to know and I can share with you guys. It was tough. The marketing and everything like that. Even Shuhei Yoshida came out.
He was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah, he was like, publicity's hard when you're an indie developer and you don't know what to do. And so I'm hoping nothing terrible happens to Sean Murray and his company. I think the game was. We
obviously wish no ill will on those really kind folks.
I hope everything works out, and I hope Sean Murray at some point, does come out and say he's sorry and that patches are coming. But we'll see. Scarlosa, how about yourself? I know you haven't played No Man's Sky, but you know about it, correct?
I've heard what you've said about it, and I've actually watched a couple of hours of gameplay of it.
So what are your thoughts on this? I mean, I don't know if you've heard about the allegations here where, Sean Murray's like, oh, there's going to be all this stuff in the game, all the, real multiplayer, blah, 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 blah. Obviously not true. How do you feel about this whole false advertising claim?
I don't know. Like, what is it specifically that he's being accused of? Like, obviously false advertising, what specifically?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I mean, basically, the big things here are the fact that things like no multiplayer, right? The multiplayer isn't real. Like the multiplayer is like, for example, two people went to the same exact spot in the game, which is very hard to do, but they did it and they didn't see each other. So the multiplayer not real. There are lots of different things. A lot of the trailers that they showed, those things don't exist in the game. So a lot of things like that. A lot of it is like hard for me to explain because I haven't played the game in a while and I don't really listen to a lot of this. I just know that people have been complaining for a long time and they're legitimate, things. I mean, like Sean Murray was like, yeah, you will be able to do X, Y, and Z, and in the game it does not exist. It doesn't even exist in the code somewhere on the disk. It just doesn't exist.
I feel those investigations are the complaints are very legitimate because it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm going to say this and it's eventually going to be patched in, or like we have hopes to include this in the game. He said, oh no, you're able to do this on not only 1 or 2 or 3, like all like the interviews that he had. There are a bunch of, there's really disheartening collections on YouTube of him saying like certain things and like proving that like it doesn't exist in the game or in its code. So like, I guess it, of course, with the hate trains that snowball on YouTube these days, it granted enough traction for like the ASA to be like, okay, all right, yeah, fine. We'll look at it. And so then they were like, oh, yeah, I guess this could be a case then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So do you have any thoughts on that? It's okay if you don't because we can move on. We got 2 minutes.
I think it's interesting. I mean, it is the sort of thing where like you have to wonder, like, did he think he would just get away with saying things like that when he knew that they weren't there yet?
Yeah, that's a good point. We don't know, right? We don't know why he did it. The funny thing is, he was extremely vocal on Twitter until the game launched and all the hate came out, and then him and the entire studio stopped talking. I think a lot of it is they stopped talking. I think Sean Murray thinks the best way to handle this is to work. I think he thinks like, you know what? Instead of going out there and talking and messing things up more, let me just get the content out. And I think he's kind of digging his own grave to that degree. But as Shuhei Yoshida said, who is president of PlayStation? Yeah, president, right? He's
first party studios.
Yeah. He said, very important person in PlayStation. He basically said, hey, like, that's unfortunate that he did that, but it's hard, right? Like, he doesn't have a PR person. He wants to go out and say, we have everything. He had plans probably to come out and say, yeah, we have all of this. But
folks like Peter Molyneux definitely need a PR rep.
I don't know what's up with that guy. But yeah, I mean, I think it's tough. I think it's tough when you're an indie developer, you're working on a game, and you want to have those things in, so you promise that you'll have them in, and then when they don't launch with it, you're concerned, but you're like, okay, but I can still get it out. And you don't know how all of the public's going to react, especially because you don't have a PR person saying, hey, are you sure you want to say this? Are you sure you want to do that? Let's only mention these things. And I think it's...
He probably has this he probably had this really big idea for the game, and then he probably got ahead of himself and just got behind on things, and then he had to make the choice of do I delay the game or do I just put it out as it is and try and get away with it.
Yeah, and a lot of the money came from PlayStation, and so PlayStation probably was
hey, there was legit investment in there.
Yeah, and so I think you're completely correct with that. I think that's what sucks about this whole thing is I feel bad for every party involved. People that bought the game.
I feel genuinely sorry that this is happening and stuff like that, because we're kind of bystanders on the whole No Man's Sky thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it comes to the internet, this wasn't Aliens, Colonial Marines. You know what I mean? But it's taken to that amount of level for such a genuinely nice team.
Yeah.
So and also the internet is a horrible, scary place. So it's oh my God, all of that is being directed pointedly at this guy. I was no wonder he looks like a hacker.
Yeah, the guy's getting death threats.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Well, as you mentioned, we wish no ill will towards the group. We hope everything works out. But definitely something to think about, especially for the future of the gaming industry. So let's go ahead and finish up the rest of the news here. This is something I find very interesting. For those that maybe do or don't play Overwatch, there is a game coming out that is free to play for PlayStation 4 that is very similar to Overwatch. Mexican, I know that you put this up. I'm gonna let you take it away. What is this game called? Tell me a little bit about the game.
It's called Paladins. It's pretty much it's like a free to play Overwatch. The trailer, oh my god, the characters look exactly, well not exactly, but so much like the characters in Overwatch. And I don't even play Overwatch. And it's also like a Reaper looking character, but instead of actually making Reaper, they actually made it look like a Death some other guy. There's Roadhog, I know that. And I went to the website and I was like, okay, look at the character descriptions, and it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I do want to go ahead and throw out a disclaimer. Paladins is actually in development when Overwatch was in development, so it wasn't just a straight up rip, right? Scarlett, did you say something, Scarlett?
No, it was in development before Overwatch.
Oh, true. It was in development. That's right. It was in development before Overwatch, but not before Project Titan. So Project Titan, which is the original idea for where Overwatch came from, or out of, I should say. Project Titan was this huge hero shooter MMO idea, and they just brought it all the way down to Overwatch. So they were in development at the same time. I actually heard stories about how Project Titan took some things, or learned a little bit from Paladins, and Paladins learned some things from Project Titan. And it seems like, I'll be honest, I think at this point it was one of those things where they probably had some very similar ideas. Overwatch came out first, and so I think Paladins then
adapted or changed a lot of things.
Yeah, to things that make sense. And I think it's interesting because Paladins at first, I thought it was going to be one of those things where, okay, random free-to-play PC game. Then I recognized that it was by Scarlosa, your beloved studio, Hi-Rez, the guys that made Smite. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I mean, I guess that does make me feel a little bit more defensive about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I mean,
because it's not like a random studio came out of nowhere, came out of the woodwork just to work a rip off a title. But again, the internet is just so able to once someone takes a stance that gains traction, everything gets
first is original pretty much.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I can't wait to. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's free to play. I'm gonna play it.
It's free, so everyone's gonna play. It's free.
Yeah, and I think that this is a good move on Hi-Rez, and I think there's a reason that you don't see Blizzard suing, right? And I think if Blizzard would just be like, you guys stole this and sue, and there's a reason that they're not suing, and I think the reason is because they both took a lot from each other, and I'm excited to see how the game is. I'm excited to see, obviously Overwatch is a way more polished game. It's a AAA title. Came out of Blizzard,
and the way it looks.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have Pixar. Yeah, these guys have Pixar animators there. You know what I mean? The highest quality animation that you can possibly get. Paladins does not. Hi-Rez Studios is a good studio. They're not fantastic, but they're a good studio. They've made some really great games over the years. Blizzard has made the best games over the years. It's Activision Blizzard, by the way, for those that don't know that. So they've literally made the top grossing games in the world of all time. So they literally own World of Warcraft and Call of Duty. So you're not going to beat out Overwatch in that regard. They can just throw money at it. But Paladins, I think, is going to I think it's going to answer the issues that you have, Mexican. The issue of, this game seems like it would be a great free-to-play game, but why am I going to pay $60 for it? And
it also has the card system of Paragon. That's what I was reading about.
I did see that. Yeah, there are very major differences, right? Like the gameplay, there's a card system where you can build out your character differently. Actually, similar to Dirty Bomb, for those that know Dirty Bomb on PC.
One day.
Dragon Fruit.
One day.
Wait on PS4. Yeah. I know. But so Tribes Ascend, that's a good point as well, Dragon Fruit. So a lot of games that Hi-Rez has made. We'll see what comes out. Just kind of wanted to put that out there for those that didn't know. There is I believe an alpha or maybe a closed beta?
Yeah, like a closed beta that you can set up. That's what I did. Even though I laughed, I still signed up because it's free, so hey.
Of course. Yeah, go ahead and look up.
People trying to get into the Gwent thing right now.
Well, you can spend your time. Go ahead and play Paladin. So go ahead and try out the Paladins open or closed beta. See if you guys can get in that for PlayStation 4 or on PC for those like Dragon. All right. So last thing that I kind of wanted to mention, and we're going to actually bring this back. I haven't done this in a long time, but something that myself and Peaches did back in the day for GearCast is sales. Because we're doing these live, I figured for those that are on, we'll go quickly over a couple of these sales. So one sale that is up right now, we're going to literally breeze right through these recommendations from myself and Peaches. Feel free to go ahead and throw your cents in here, guys.
PlayStation Plus specials.
Yeah. PlayStation Plus specials. They're on sale right now. A lot of different games on here. Final Fantasy 14 Realm Reborn for those that are interested in MMOs in the Final Fantasy universe, on sale for $10. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big deal. Check that out. There's a full collector's edition for $20, and then there's like everything apparently for $25. Good deal if you guys like Final Fantasy and you guys want to go ahead and check out an MMO. Battlefield Hardline, back at it again with an extremely cheap price. $4 for the standard edition on PS3, and it's probably $5 or $10, maybe even $4 for the PlayStation 4 version. I do not have. I already bought the PS4 version, so I don't know how much it actually costs.
Did you pay more or less for Battlefield Hardline?
What, for the $4?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, that's the PS3 version, so I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. Scarlett, did you have something you wanted to say about that?
No, all I know is I remember buying it when it first came out and then selling it like 2 days later.
Yeah. I think what's funny is if you guys don't think you want to buy Battlefield, don't buy it, because that stuff, the price of Battlefield drops immensely, extremely quickly. Comparatively to Call of Duty, that just doesn't drop price. Like Call of Duty Ghost, still like $50. Like slow down. Like if you guys aren't sure about it, just don't get it and wait for it. Wait for the full edition to come out, because you guys know so much DLC out there. Go ahead and grab the full edition later. But yeah, so that's out. I would definitely go ahead and jump into Hardline, even just for the single player. It's $4. Like if it's $10 for PS4 or whatever, still worth it. For a single player experience, for some trophies, is worth it. Another game coming that is out. Honestly, don't have much to say about this. The game has terrible ratings. Mighty Number 9. It's $12 for PS4 and for PS3.
You're better off getting the Mega Man Legacy Collection for $15.
Fair enough. Abzu, which I heard is really good. A very artistic game. So if you guys are interested in sitting down and watching something serene or interacting with something like that, Abzu is $14. Star Ocean, the new Star Ocean, has plummeted in price as well, $30. If you're interested in some JRPG. Oh, your favorite game of all time, Farming Simulator 2015.
No idea what
that's out for $25. Oh, MLG.
For the OGs, for the OGs of the GearCast, there was this long running joke of just me and being obsessed with Farming Simulator. I never played it. But since it's on sale. No, I'm not going to get it. Mafia 3 is coming out next week.
$25. Farming Simulator for PlayStation 3, though, is $20. So if you got a PlayStation 3, you're lucky. And then Song of the Deep, heard it's a really great Castlevania, Metroid style, whatever.
Kimberly has that on a physical disc.
It's $10, $10.50 actually. So I would definitely say the game. If there was one recommendation, I could say Battlefield Hardline. $4.
Yeah.
If it's even $10, if it's even $15, maybe, probably not. I would definitely go ahead and jump out and grab that game. Maybe there's some JRPGs in there as well. Would you say the same thing?
My personal recommendation is definitely Battlefield Hardline for the amount of content that you're getting there. I think my secondary thing would probably be Abzu, but that's for a very niche audience in the sense that if you want to sit down and just absorb a story and absorb a narrative, absorb an atmosphere for an hour, then it's definitely worth it. Because I think, like, in the frame of mind, would I paid $13 if Journey was on sale for $13? Would I pick it up when it was on sale? Yes. Totally worth it.
Good point. Good point. I mean, I actually got Bound. Fun fact. I don't know if you knew that or not. Beautiful game. We'll definitely have to talk a little bit about that later. Do a little bit of impressions video. Yeah, I would definitely say 15. I would say anything lower than $20 is when you can definitely start. If you weren't sure about it, think about it, right? Yeah, I think I would like to have this little bit of an experience, right? That's about 2 movies. You're going to get more, more value out of it, I would assume. If it's a multiplayer game. And speaking about multiplayer games, Team 17 also has a sale going on right now. These are great games. We're just going to kind of breeze right through this. Some of the best games that are on here. If you guys love Worms, the game, which is that good old strategy game where there's people on Worms on one side, Worms on the other side, and you're constantly moving towards each other, trying to kill each other with strategy. Love that game. That's out on sale for $25, and that's the new Worms. So that's Worms. I think it's WMD, which I can't remember what that stands for.
Weapons of Mass Destruction.
Weapons of Mass Destruction. There you go. The Escapist has a huge pack of the full collection, I believe.
That is beyond worth. Right there.
Yeah, and everybody says that this game is fantastic. I have not jumped into it yet myself because it's a smaller game that I probably won't have the time. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can see my recommendation in the second row right there.
All right. Well, that's $9, so I would definitely jump on that. You can get the baseline Escapist for $6. Don't know why you would do that. They have the Escapist Walking Dead for $8, but you can get the entire collection for $9. So if you're interested in the Escapist at all, get it. It's $9. Overcooked, $12. Fantastic game. You will see a review on Overcooked coming up soon. We need to go ahead and grab some gameplay for that.
Because it never works.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's about that. We'll definitely go ahead and see if I can find some gameplay. Maybe I can just find some free gameplay online. Beyond Eyes. This is another one of those games. Very, I don't know, an experience that isn't necessarily an interactive art experience. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a super game.
Interactive art experience seems to be its own genre, what with Journey and Abzu and stuff like that. This is you play as a girl that's blind, so like through color and different sorts of the interactiveness in the space, you get to see how she perceives the world and how it feels depending on touch, smell, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, beautiful game.
PSX was the reveal, I think.
Yes, yeah, it was. $5, actually $4.50. So if you guys are don't want to go out and get your cheeseburger today, go ahead and buy this instead. I think that's definitely worth it. LA Cops. I'm not sure how I feel about this game.
It's kind of like a discount Hotline Miami from what I've been reading.
Yeah, completely correct. So I would be wary about it. Especially because the whole cop narrative right now is a little bizarre. But $4.50 as well. Overruled. I would recommend you buy this, by the way.
What is Overruled?
Overruled is another like an Overcooked. It's a little bit of a crazy game, multiplayer. I believe it's like a Smash kind of game where the rules consistently change. And I heard it's just supposed to be a lot of fun. Again, $4.50, guys. This is your Uber ride. This is your
Uber ride.
This is five bottles of soda. You know what I mean? I would definitely take a look into getting Overruled. A game that I'm actually really interested in, which is bizarre that I'm interested in it, but I don't know what it was. Sheltered. Sheltered is a apocalypse game that looks like Fallout Shelter. So I definitely am going to start looking into that. Granted, Fallout Shelter might come out for console at some point. Since it's on PC, I would love it to because I actually am a little bit interested in those.
It's fun.
A couple other games, not really going to mention them. More escapist things like that. Another Worms game. Yeah, at that point, I think you guys should definitely check it out. Obviously, I think both of our recommendations are Overcooked. Yeah, definitely go ahead and take a look at the Escapist as well, though. $9 for all of everything in the Escapist. Or not everything
is also on my list of games of the year.
What, Escapist?
No.
Overcooked? Yeah, Overcooked. Fantastic game. Okay, last sale before we jump into the topic. I apologize, guys. Is the Outbreak Day sale. And this is a simple one here. It's Last of Us on sale. I have no idea what the price is. I can jump in and see. Nope, I have no idea what the price is. All I know is it's on sale. I apologize that I can't let you guys know what it is.
And the standalone DLC left behind is $5, and like a little thing if you want to make your PS4 a little bit extra pretty. The Last of Us Outbreak Day theme
It's free,
which is the fungus one, is free, and it's gorgeous. The music is gorgeous. It's so like minimalistic and so awesome. And all the DLC is it's been dropped down like a couple bucks. Like the collections of DLC for like hats and like weapons and skills. And
if you guys have not played Last of Us, I don't know what's your problem. As you guys may or may not know, it's my favorite game of all time.
Our favorite game of all time.
True. I had to get you down on that though.
Phantom Pain was like fighting out.
I was like,
but Neil Druckmann came in with a brick. Was like, shit.
Last of Us Remastered, beautiful game on sale. Again, I apologize for not knowing the price because I already purchased it. It just says purchased. And all of its DLC is on sale as well. So if you guys don't have that, definitely get it. That's it for all the sales. The only other thing I want to mention before we hop into this is that there are some games coming out in this week and next week of October. This upcoming week of October. Really, there's only a couple I want to mention. One is actually Warhammer: The End Times Vermintide. This is actually what I mentioned. It's a Warhammer series, and it's the Warhammer series that is very nerdy, very, very nerdy, and it's dark fantasy setting. The reason I mention this is the closest thing you will probably get currently to a Left 4 Dead experience on PlayStation. It's got mixed reviews.
Is that where you're killing the giant rats and rat people? Yep. I'm down.
Yeah, it's got mixed reviews, but I am always willing to pay, honestly, anything upwards $30, $40 for a co-op game with my friends. I love co-op games. They're my favorite. And if you guys don't know Co-Optimus, which is a website for co-op reviews and things like that, Vermintide is actually highly up there. And so I will definitely go ahead and recommend looking into this. Wouldn't pre-order it or anything like that.
Wait, is like an online co-op or local co-op as well?
Not sure, actually. It's a really great question.
That's why you should go on cooptimus.com.
Yeah, Co-Optimus will let you know. I can definitely go ahead and for you in a little bit. But there are a lot of other like little indie games coming out, including actually Rocksmith is coming out remastered. Atari flashbacks are coming back. A lot of things. But the most important thing is that on October 7th, there is a game that we are extremely excited for, and why I'm assuming the majority of you guys are here for. Mafia 3 is coming out. And because of Mafia 3 coming out, which we will definitely do a hype train for.
We need to. You need to have me on this hype train.
We'll do it. The reason is because there's a lot of colored people in video games in 2016. There's a lot of colored people in entertainment.
Yeah.
In 2016. Let me explain what I mean by this. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, whoa, Chaingear. You keeping things PC up in here? Listen, I don't mean personal computer, all right? People of color, meaning you really in the United States, people of color, meaning people that are not white, more or less. So, it could be an Indian person, a black person, a brown person, whatever. It could be a Mexican, right? Whatever it is, a person triggered. Anyone that is a person of color. The reason I say this is because I've seen a lot of people of color in entertainment and and especially in gaming. I say entertainment because actually the reason that Peaches is here, the main reason, it's not because of you guys. It's because we're going to watch Luke Cage.
With the Black Knight of comic books, Jared James, why don't you come on in here, buddy? Show the world your beautiful face. The Black Knight of comic books. Go on Peaches Picks. The original episode had him and us talking about our favorite minority characters in all of entertainment, but we're going to talk about video games today.
I want to see if we can put that up on the channel.
Yeah,
because I love that. That was
a great episode.
Also, we are going to do a Peaches Picks after this.
By the way, come back here.
We are going to do a Peaches Picks after this.
He's literally Static Shock. Everyone do a petition for Jared James to be Static Shock in a new DC movie.
Static Shock, man. Oh, that show back then.
You're messing up. But we're definitely going to go ahead and do a Peaches Picks after this as well. After Luke Cage. We won't do it live or anything like that. We'll record it. But it'll be pretty awesome because we're going to talk about Luke Cage. We're going to talk about some other things, blackness and gaming and stuff like that. But we're pretty excited. And so aside from Luke Cage, if you guys don't know what Luke Cage is, look it up, Marvel property on Netflix. There's a lot of games coming out with black people in it. What?
Oh my God!
With black people, the number one that came out, I mean, as in terms of time, was actually it was a surprise. It wasn't a game. It was a big add-on to the very well-known game Destiny. Destiny had the Rise of Iron recently come out, huge expansion. I am actually still a huge Destiny fan. The Rise of Iron, the main. NPC, the main character of the Rise of Iron is Lord Saladin,
and he runs the multiplayer faction, right?
There's a multiplayer faction called the Iron Banner, that's Lord Saladin, he takes his helmet off. And guess what? He's black.
We love that.
I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that.
And he's voiced by Steve Blum.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know, why this is important, for myself, and I'm going to talk about this for myself. I don't need to talk about it for everybody, but for myself, having people that look like me in games is good for representation, right?
It's a treat.
Because,
It's a treat. It's like literally a personal treat. Like I
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, personally, it makes me happy. But at the same time, I want to make sure that my kids see people that look like them who aren't the stereotype that you always see, right? Mm-hmm. Granted, it's important to also show, what, people think is the majority of American, of black people as well, or people of color. That's why there's fantastic games like GTA, right? GTA 5 is a fantastic satirical piece on the United States, especially California. And you see a lot of stereotypes, people of color stereotypes there. And I think that's important too, because there's a narrative there. But more importantly is, you get to see Lord Saladin, who's black, and he's not like, yo, what is up, everyone? We are going to go ahead into the hood and use my giant flaming hammer to crush. Right. Like, I was so happy to see the fact that this guy was black, and it was really, really important for me. May not be important for you guys, but it was important for me. And that's not it, obviously. The reason that we're so excited is because on October 7th, we've got an unapologetically black main character coming out. Which, yeah, for sure.
It's 1968. You're in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Come back from the Vietnam War. What? You're not only black, you're mixed.
True.
What is going on? So Lincoln Clay is hopefully going to be one of our favorite minority characters in gaming, period, because it's one of those things where racism...
There aren't that many.
So. No. There's racism in games boils down to the elves hate the dwarves, the magisters hate the Templars, they hate you because you're a big cat man and you're not allowed in the cities, whatever, but I'm still in the city, so, like, we don't really...
I'm a Khajiit. I don't like Khajiits.
Okay, but you're gonna hire me to like grab your sword, and you're gonna still pay me money, and then call me your savior when I'm done. So this is something where the game directly like affects the player for being a different race. So arguably you could say that for like Dragon Age, but we're talking about grounded, true to life racism. I mean, there are missions where the KKK is gonna be after you because you wandered into a white neighborhood.
KKK.
Wandering up into the really ritzy upper like white neighborhoods, people will call the cops on you for being different. So like I wrote an article about this. Go on medium.com/@HeyTherePeaches as to why Mafia 3 is going to be really important for the white gamer, because it's going to bring a lot of perspective and be like, hey, I'm walking. Why are people treating me differently? It's going to directly affect you and gain you some perspective as to like what racism really is. And this tumultuous period that we're living in today, it's all that more important that you gain this sort of perspective because it's so important, especially now.
Yeah. I mean, in general, right?
It's badass.
Let's take a step back for a second. That was a deep dive into Mafia 3. Mm-hmm. In general, the game is supposed to be fantastic. If you guys love Rockstar, if you guys love the guys that made Grand Theft Auto, who Rockstar always has. Something social to say, something that has to do with the some sort of social narrative, something about society.
We had CJ and GTA 3, or was it Vice City?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the
Wait,
GTA
CJ as in a San Andreas?
Yeah, San Andreas.
This guy knows. Mexican knows it all. But yeah. I mean, GTA has been consistently, obviously has fantastic narrative around society and what's going on, but it's a satirical piece, right? Like, not everybody always understands that. Mafia is not a satirical piece. Mafia is. I mean, just watch just watch. Have I done a Mafia 3 Hot Train?
No, because you can do it with me.
But I think
actually should jump in on that. Watch the trailer.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to go ahead and throw one up. By probably on Wednesday.
Don't throw up on.
No, I'll throw all over it. So we'll definitely
racism.
Sure. But to make sure everybody gets has an understanding here, I'm actually less interested about the racism overall, and being able to play through that, and more excited about just the fact that there's more representation.
Oh yeah,
of people of color in games. Obviously, personally happy to see a black person in games. Still waiting to see at least one black woman. I don't think I've ever seen a black woman be a protagonist ever.
Let alone a very important secondary character.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen
that. She's the head of the...
Remember Me? It's like a game by, I think, Activision.
She wasn't black.
She was like French. She was like some sort of like...
She might have been. Hold on. We're going to have to check this now.
Yeah.
If she was black... Obviously, you can't really tell enough. So Like I didn't see her and be like, oh, she's
Then
black.
it went under the radar pretty much, the game.
Yeah, the game also wasn't really.
But I'll say this: like one of the lieutenants in Mafia 3, she's the head of the Haitian mob. Like she's like the semblance of the what black mob is left in the South, which, by the way, is a topic that no one really likes to talk about in the handful of documentaries and stuff like that. Like the black mob in the South is about as touch as this Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
I think I don't want to dive too deep into Mafia 3 in general. We're definitely going to do a lot of videos on it. I know it's important to myself, important to Peaches, important to Jaya. And so, that's one of the things. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But in a general topic, there's other games coming out as well. Another big game that's coming out is Watch Dogs 2, which is starting to get a lot of impressions.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was Jair in the trailer. I'm pretty sure it was just you.
Seriously. Yeah, I mean, so the what's the character's name? I can't think of it now.
I don't know.
Oh man.
I think it's like Marcus Holloway or something like that.
Marcus. Yeah.
Marcus. Holloway.
He's like, I mean, I was so excited. First of all, I'm always excited to see a game that's okay and see its sequel. I'm always excited for that. Whether it's great or whether it's bad. I'm always excited. I'm always like, oh, is this game going to fail completely? Is it going to burst into flames, or is it going to be a really solid sequel? And Watch Dogs 2 is really coming up to be a great sequel. And there have been tons of impressions out there, and people have been like, this game is good. Like, this game is not the game that we saw before.
Which I should say, this is the second time that this has happened to me personally, because Prototype 1 we hate. Notoriously, infamously hate Prototype. But the thing is, the second one came out, and he's like, I'm going to kill Alex Mercer. I'm like, what the heck is that? Oh, my God, he's black. What? Yeah, what? And so I was like, that was like the only reason that was on my radar. I was like, maybe this could potentially be like the Prototype that like needed to be. It wasn't. No, don't buy the remaster. Don't do it. But it's funny because it's just like, okay, we're gonna do Watch Dogs better. We're gonna take the original idea that people really thought was gonna be like DedSec, be in DedSec, the hacker group.
Call it.
Yeah, we did call it. Let's put it in a much more vibrant city that people really are able to interact with. Hashtag Chaingear was right. And let's make the protagonist black. Just for these two.
I think seeing, having these black protagonists in the world, I think is really, really important. Again, these are the three major games that I mentioned again. Destiny, Destiny, Watch Dogs 2, and Mafia 3.
We're talking. I think you're forgetting one more thing in terms of representation. Battlefield 1.
Well, okay, this is So this is
kind of because
interesting.
they're different stories. Like each person's a new story.
So we'll see, right? We'll see about Battlefield 1. I have heard about things like that. I have not really dove deep into Battlefield 1 because I'm not actually as interested as I know you're very interested in this, but I'm not. And so I haven't really dived deep into it. But that's a good point. When I first saw, when I first saw the original trailer and like black dudes right on the cover. Also, like when you get the special edition, you go ahead and get
a statue of him.
Yeah, you get a statue of that guy.
Nowhere to be seen in the trailer.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird for me. These upcoming trailers, I haven't seen him in, but I also haven't watched like the newest ones. I know you told me that. But again, the major topic, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts about this, is that there are a lot of people of color in gaming recently and in entertainment overall. And I think that this is a great thing. I think that we're seeing a lot of this. But I also, we've mentioned these guys a lot, but from Kind of Funny, Colin Moriarty, he's a white dude and very well knows it, and I appreciate that. But one thing that he always mentions is, we don't want to force people to put black people in games, right? We don't want to just like start forcing black people in, because otherwise it's not going to come out right and people aren't thinking about it correctly. We
don't want the good-heartedness and we don't want it to be disingenuous or representation to be disingenuous.
Right. We want people to say like, oh yeah, it would be awesome if we put a black person in. And the funny thing is you do have to sit there and say, I want a black person in this game. So many people are like, well, we don't want to say that it's a black person. And it's like, no, you do. We need representation. So we need to show, we need to say, hey, why don't we make this person, does this person have to be white, right? And if for some reason you need them to be white, then make them white. Please do. If your vision is this white dude doing all of these things,
we'll say this: BJ Blazkowicz in Wolfenstein is never going to be black. That doesn't make any sense because a black guy in a Nazi airspace is going to be like, what? How can you? What?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's you're right. That would make the game whack. Now a DLC, right? A DLC coming out with like a black dude that I could see, just doing a little something.
Glorious Bastards too, which is going to be blacks and Jews.
Yeah, let's just do it. But yeah, so I think there's a lot of things that we could, that could be worked out there. But yeah, I think it would be cool to, see more of that. I think there are some answers to how we can get more people of color into games and things like that. But I'm going to stop it there. Obviously, myself and Peaches have a ton of commentary. You're going to hear a lot from us about Mafia 3. You're going to hear about a lot, at least from me, from Watch Dogs 2. I'm very excited for that. You'll hear a lot from him from Battlefield 1. You're about to hear from the three of us for Luke Cage, which I know, Mexican, you're currently watching. So starting actually with Starlosa, tell me how, just in general, how do you feel about seeing, people of color in games? Well, let's stick with games overall. Do you feel like this is a good move? Do you feel like there needs to be more? Do you feel like this is the perfect amount? Just kind of give me some commentary on how you feel about black people up in the games. I'm just kidding.
I think it's in certain games it stands out, and in other games it doesn't. For example, we talk about Overwatch. It's one of those games where there's I don't even know where Symmetra's supposed to be from. I'm not sure. But I feel like there's quite a lot of different representation going on, and it's not the sort of thing you really notice. But I think, like Peaches was saying, you don't want to force it, and it can come across as a bit like there's a whole bunch of white people, and then there's one black guy, and it seems like he's what's the word?
Token.
Token. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So I think it's good, but I think that you have to be kind of careful with it to make it more natural, if you know what I mean, not forced. And I also wanted to mention, you were saying before about I remember playing Assassin's Creed on a Vita, and I'm
yep.
Oh, Evelyn.
I can't remember her name though.
Yeah, so she in terms of her character, in terms of who she is, in terms of her story, she is probably the best assassin in Assassin's Creed, period. I love her more so than her. It's a shame that her game wasn't that good, but in terms of likability, in terms of her arc, in terms of everything she is, Aveline is my favorite character in Assassin's Creed. Did you play Assassin's Creed 3, the expansion for Aveline or whatever?
Yeah, I played Liberation on the Vita, and
how interesting was that?
It was pretty freaking interesting because they added that new mechanic where she could disguise herself as sort of an upper class woman and seduce people, but at the same time, she's this lethal force that you haven't really seen before.
Femme fatale, if you will.
Yes.
This is the woman that was taken from her status to literally lows felt of racism in the French ward and basically New Orleans, kind of that kind of area. But oh my God, Aveline is great, and I want to see more of her. If there's anything that I'd like to see, I would like to actually have her own in a current gen standalone game, but that's never going to happen because I feel as though time has passed. Definitely, we're not going to go back to the American Revolution, that sort of time.
That is a good point. There is actually a woman of color as a protagonist.
Yeah,
I think she's the only one. But that is a good point.
Clementine is mixed.
Yeah, I don't really know much about that. I also don't know if I would, because it's a sequel, or maybe it's the way that it's looked at.
We're not going to see anyone like Marlene as the head.
Yeah. But it is a good point. It is a good point. I like what you just said. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's generally not the kind of thing I notice. If I'm playing a game and there's an Asian person, there's a black person, and there's an Indian person, it's not the sort of thing I notice until I was saying, for example, I know it's kind of a random example, but Blacklight, I don't remember his name, but he seems like Token to me.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah,
correct. Grindel?
Yeah. So
I mean, that's
because you
Token.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point. Actually, let's get on that for a second. The game, there's some interesting things about that. Starting off with the fact that you mentioned, games like Overwatch, you may not think about people's race and stuff like that, right? Especially because every single person is supposed to be representative of a different place. Granted, you also have Pigman Roadhog, so it's kind of random, but yeah, it's a good point, right? You have the two white dudes on the Australian fighter force or whatever. So they're white, but whatever. They don't look they they don't all look the same. They don't all look like McCree, right? Like Soldier, looks completely different because half his face looks gone. You don't really know what Reaper looks like until you see the skin of his actual self.
Mexican and the Mariachi skin.
Yeah,
that's one reason I like him. I'm not gonna lie.
No, fair enough. And I think that that's a really great point, is the fact that so Mexican, for example, you're like, oh yeah, I love playing as with the Mariachi Reaper, because for you it was like, yeah, this is cool, I like this, right? For some people, they might be like, oh, it's too much or whatever. But I think being able to have that representation is still really, really important. And then comparatively, to kind of look at it in a different way, I think it's good. And I think it's interesting. You said you usually don't recognize it. And I think there's good and bad things about that. Because if if there's a game, there's a Asian person and a black person or whatever in the game, and you're not recognizing it, that probably isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it means that you're just taking it in, right? You're just like, oh, a person, and that person's this person. You're just kind of putting that person, their identity is who they are. Right? I think that's great. So, for example, if we take a look at the original Watch Dogs, and you look, I can't think of his name, the side character, the Asian guy.
Oh, I don't remember. Like, he was the one that was cleaning up all the bodies.
Yeah, the guy was literally the best character. Yeah. He's fantastic.
Shows what a great game Watch Dogs is, with all the memorable names of the good character.
All right. Anyway, stop. That guy, super triggered. So that guy, he was one of my favorite characters. I recognized that he was Asian the second I saw him, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, oh, this is an Asian dude, and he's badass, and I really like him. For me, it was one of those things where I'm glad that there's this representation here, and he's a better character than Aiden Pierce, whatever. But I think sometimes when you don't recognize it, it means that you're just taking it in as this is a person. I think that's really, really important. But at the same time, you are recognizing that, what's going on with Grendel in Black Light Retribution. Granted, what's going on? Lord Alfred, I gotta call you out for a second. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it feels like sometimes when people are making games and just movies and stuff, they're making a movie and then they're halfway through making, they're like, damn, we should just get a black guy in here. We might seem racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is interesting, because if you look at that,
which is fortunate.
Right. I'm actually going to call out Lord Elf right now. No offense, bruh. But all your characters, all the girls in that game, every single girl in that game, aside from one of them, has is literally they're in a suit, like a armor, and then there's just cleavage. It's look, I have all of this armor and cleavage. I don't really know what's up with that. What?
Apparently boobs don't need protection.
Yeah, what?
Their armor plus 5 armor all in itself.
And then Grendel, random black dude, huge
big, yeah.
Dude, what is going on here? I was with a minigun, you stole it straight out of Final Fantasy. I just felt like they were really, 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 really good point. Is that I feel like sometimes, granted, it's an old game, and so I'll let it slide, but you really need to think about what kind of character do we want in here, and why is it important? It's like when Metroid, when Samus all of a sudden was a girl. It's Samus didn't have to be a girl. It could have been a guy. All you knew is you were playing with a guy and a person in a suit, and then all of a sudden, she takes her helmet off, and a blonde flowing hair flies out, and everyone's like, "Is that a girl?" And then at some point she doesn't have her suit on, and she's Zero Suit Samus. It's obviously a girl, and everyone's like, "Oh man!" No, and I think it was received really, really well.
I'll say this: I took an indie games course last semester, and our teacher was a developer, obviously, of some really great games actually. And he said, when you look at your character design, when you're designing something for your vision, you look at your characters with the question, why not? I'm looking at the wall here, and I see a lot of great character designs. But why can't it be a black guy? Why can't it be an Asian guy? Why can't they be Hispanic? Because what you need to realize is that no matter what color you are a person. You're a person to be played with. You are an extension of the player. So there might be that disconnect for some, but it's funny how people were able to put robots as protagonists as sooner than person as a different color because of that fear. So when you're looking at your character designs, just ask, why not? But there is that fine line of, disingenuous representation or stuff like that. Again, Booker DeWitt in Bioshock Infinite's not going to be black because it's a city and the cloud's full of racists. So the black people like being represented in the game is very conscious as basically slaves. It's very purposeful. But yeah, that's my view.
No, that's a good point. I think that's a really good point. Mexican, your thoughts?
For Watch Dogs?
No, in general, how do you feel about? I mean, definitely, feel free to mention Watch Dogs. We were talking about that beforehand, but how do you feel about people of color in gaming?
Jordy Chin.
Recently? Jordy, yeah, that's his name, Jordy. So Mexican.
Yeah, okay. For me personally, I do notice it, and I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it as long as it's not forced. I mean, sometimes it's extremely forced. It's it's not cool if it's forced. Trying to explain some characters.
I'll give an example. Every single Final Fantasy game that's ever come out, where every single black person is the most like.
Then I guess Japan though, you see I don't think they see that many black people. That's my guess. That's their stereotype. What they see.
You're correct. I think the issue is the fact that when you're a global company, right? Where Square Enix, by the way, has their top grossing games are now Tomb Raider, Hitman, which is all US based. U.S. and Canada, I think. So it's it's on the other side of the hemisphere, right? We're not talking about what all of the I remember when I first played Final Fantasy 13 with Lightning, and I remember the first dude I saw, the black dude with the giant afro. I was like, what are we doing here, guys? Come on, every single time. So I definitely understand what you mean when you say that.
Yeah, when I was playing Sans Syndicate, it's Indian. Yeah, but they're in over there, in British, I'm not British. It doesn't make any sense, but they were over there.
Wait, which game?
Assassin's Creed
Syndicate.
Oh, okay.
Henry. It made sense because there were Indians around there. Perfect sense. But say if you put somewhere some from different country, way off, Mexico is wait, why is a Mexican gonna be over there in the Syndicate at that period of time? And then it's doesn't make any sense. So you really have to make it to the time period, and reactions like that, like you were talking about Mafia 3. Like me, in Ghost Recon Wildlands, I'm hyped for that because I can play as a Mexican, and because you can create your own character, right? But in the trailers, they were showing off these 4 guys, the Manila characters.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you could play as a Mexican. It's you're fighting a cartel. He's like, I better play as a Mexican. You're fighting a Mexican cartel based in Bolivia.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for that.
Yeah, and I found out you did. I was like, oh yeah. Whenever I can, I'll make the character brown, my skin color, no matter what. I mean, it's not gonna break the game if he's white or if he's black. The funny thing about Watch Dogs 2 is there was a teaser for the character, and he was Asian, and then they revealed the game and he was black.
Oh,
that was the funniest thing, man.
I remember that. That's funny.
Because we were hyped for that too. We're like, oh shoot, he's Asian.
Yeah. That's a good point. I'm really excited for when you see that, in a trailer or something. You're just kind of ooh, this is different. This looks different. And some games, you're right. Some games are a little bit forced. Some games not so. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. I love it and all. But as I said, not too forced. Come on. He's like, Grendel, that was pretty funny. I think it's more, sometimes it's satire, I guess. They're doing it way over exaggerated just to be either funny or make a point. But that's just my view on it.
No, I think I agree with you 100%. I think both of you guys brought some really great points to the table. And I don't think we're really going to talk much more about it. We're going to dive deep into some games that are going to come out, but I'm glad that we got you guys' commentary on it. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section and in the chat. I see you guys talking up there a little bit about some stuff. And I was just wondering, in general, if it doesn't matter to you, fantastic, and I think that's fantastic. If it doesn't matter to you and you're like, oh yeah, when there's a black person in it, great. When there's not, I don't really care either. That's the part where I think we need to start thinking about things. If there's not a black person in it, you want to kind of ask yourself why, right? I remember when we played Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and you couldn't play as a black dude.
You got 50 Shades of White as the protagonist, and I'm like, it's one of those things where there's no reason why I couldn't, especially in the other games, whatever.
Yeah, it was so bizarre. I was like, why if you're going to have this kind of
single player or multiplayer?
Say it again.
For single player or multiplayer?
Single player, multiplayer, you had to play as a hero. Single player, you got to choose. You either played as a female or a male, and neither of them. You can play different colors of different shades of them.
Yeah.
It wasn't. You couldn't play as black. It was super weird. Yeah, right, exactly. 50 Shades of White. It was very bizarre. It was very bizarre, and I think that's when we have to start thinking about things. Is like, yeah, sure, I'll play it, but like, I don't really. It's fine. Like, there's when I
choice was there was weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I can choose color in a game, I'll be honest, I haven't seen a game like that ever. I think it was the first time I'd ever seen a game where you were allowed to create a character and I couldn't be black. I think one of the reasons I like Brink so much, which is not a great game, but I love Brink. If you guys go and look it up.
Brink. Oh, I love that game.
Okay, that's again. You just got 10 more points.
Oh, bad.
Yeah,
what group were you? Were you the Resistance or like the cops? Like
both. I played through both of them, dude.
Well, but who was your favorite?
I had to go for the Resistance, though.
No, I had to go for the cops, man. No,
that's messed up, man. That's messed up. That's messed up. You were protecting the Arkansas rich people. I was like, let's take it down, boys. What I loved about that was that you could play as so many black people in that game.
Man, it was.
You could play as white dudes too, but you could play as like every single race. Like,
yeah, I play as a Mexican. I was like, I'm playing as a Mexican. I don't care.
I love that game because they literally were like, listen, like the United States is split up into in these different ways, and whether it be right or wrong, it's how you're going to take a look at things. So take a look at these people, and you go ahead and say, I want to look a little bit like this, a little bit like this, kind of put them into little archetypes. But then you can change the color of them, you can change their nose, their mouth, whatever. And I thought it was fantastic. They had 20 different types of black people in that game. So you weren't going to find, there was no stereotypical black dude because there were 20 of them. And I love, it was a really, really great game in terms of being able to customize that. I just really like that. I'd love to see more games do that. I like to see more hero-based games that, again, don't, I'm trying to think who's black and is there anyone black? Oh yeah, Lucio. Even in Overwatch, I do have some feeling.
Salty. He's Brazilian, okay?
Yeah.
There's not many Mexicans. Like the Mexican has a mask on. He's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, and so we'll see who else comes out for Overwatch and things like that. But anyway,
Sombra, something like that.
Yeah, Sombra. But we'll see. And I think that this was really great. I like this commentary. I'm excited to see what happens for the rest of the year and for next year to see if we're going to get more people of color. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some women, some females in to gaming as well. Another topic for another time.
One more thing, my bad.
Sure.
I'm salty about Infinite Warfare because, okay, everyone hates it, right? And the main character is Hispanic. It's like, oh, okay. It's like,
yeah. That's a good point. I'll be honest with you. I was telling Peaches, I said, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Battlefield actually pulled the black card to gain the black audience because it worked for me. It worked.
And me.
I remember they were like, by the way, we're going to talk about some really important black people in this game. And I was like, well then, sir.
We're talking about it so much. It's like, let's talk about the importance of the Harlem Hellfighters. That's why he's on the cover. And I'm like,
yeah, I was like, I'm gonna get the game now. But whereas for Infinite Warfare, it was like, okay, well, here we go again. Hero's another. Hero's the general. But I again, fun fact, I'm definitely more interested in Infinite Warfare. Actually, I'm most interested in Titanfall 2. But a little more interested in Infinite Warfare than I am in Battlefield, just because I played it and I wasn't a huge fan of it. But good point though. That is a really good point. I actually still haven't even watched the story trailer for Infinite Warfare. Anything else that you guys want to talk about? Scarlos, is there anything else you want to mention about these topics or anything we talked about today?
Nope.
Mexican, is there anything that you would like to, your questions, comments, concerns?
Honestly, no.
Awesome. Well then, I think we are going to end this episode. Thank you so much, everybody who is in. Yes, I know Drugan Fruit was a 2-hour stream. I apologize. And actually, it's not. It's not a 2-hour stream. I still have 10 minutes. So I'll take 10 minutes.
You're wrong.
I'm really glad that we got to go through this. I'm glad that we had everybody, all 4 of us, all 5 of us here today. Hashtag Gear Squad for everybody out there. I really do.
Different races too, different colors.
Oh, for what? Are you talking about all of us?
Yeah, pretty much.
True. Very diverse group of individuals here. Y'all don't even know what this kid is, so let's just stop it there.
It's a running joke. Like, what am I? It's like, well, cinnamon, peppery, pink.
Pink. You are pink. That's it. Forever. Is it a guy or a girl? Pink.
Yep.
What? What?
Honestly, guys, I don't know either. So, when Professor Oak asked, I'm like,
all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. But let us know what you guys are feeling in the chat or the comment section below. If you're interested in joining the Discord, this is where myself, Scarlosa, and of course Mexican chat quite a lot about any of these topics.
And memes,
Definitely,
okay.
and memes. Definitely let us know and get involved. You guys are the reason I do what I do. You're the reason that we do what we do. 800 subs. We're coming in close to 1,000. We're gonna have to do something big for 1,000.
Let's get naked.
We could do that. I'm just kidding. We actually can't do that because this is YouTube. But yeah, let's definitely do something big for you guys. I'm really excited. Definitely gonna have to do a giveaway. Have not done a giveaway in a long time. Hopefully this one will be big. Maybe a $50 card, maybe a $100 card. I'm just kidding. I don't think they have $100 cards.
Gear Squad.
Get crew.
Oh yeah, like
well, we're the Gear Squad crew. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will see you online. Mexican, thank you so much for joining us. Definitely, Mexican, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? Twitter, YouTube, where do they get a hold of you?
Twitter is the same thing as my Mexican5243. PSN, the same thing.
Awesome.
Pretty much that's it.
Awesome.
I'm happy to be here, man. It was fun.
Yeah, we obviously we'll chat in the Discord afterwards. But yeah, I'm definitely glad that you got to be on here. More guests to come up soon. Hopefully, we have Old School Israel coming up. Hopefully, we can get a Lord Alf maybe. You never know. You never know. Just saying, Alf, if you want to join. Cassandra hopefully will be on. Also a member of the BCL. Hopefully, we can get Nuclear Sharkhead. Maybe up in here. Maybe we can get some guys from the arena. Maybe we can get Young. Yeah. Maybe we can get Naomi Kyle. I'm just kidding. I'm just stretching now. All right, guys.
we can get Barack Obama.
Yeah, you never know.
Barack Obama.
People of color in gaming is a very important
Michelle
thing.
plays a lot of black one.
She really likes the character customization. But that Grendel, what's up with Grendel? Grendel, I don't feel as though Grendel is a good representation of the black people of America. I'm just saying.
You're not going to be president, so why not play some video games with us?
All right, guys.
Welcome to Barack Plays.
I appreciate everyone here. You will see a lot more of myself, Peaches, and of course, the brand new member of the Gear Squad, GearCast crew, Scarlosa, otherwise known as Elizabeth Kate. Thank you very much. Mexican, thanks for being on board. We'll see you guys online. Balance patch drops. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.
Just